all the quizzes on okay, and this afternoon. And my presentation, my topic today is about some preferred direct refusal strategy of offers by the native speaker of American English and the Vietnamese. And you know that according to SERV, all linguistic communication involves the production of speech, such as making apologies, asking questions, making promises, or refusing. Like other speech, refusal are used to express the declination of requests, offer, invitation, and suggestion, etc. And in my presentation today, besides conclusions and besides reference, I have 5 parts, 5 main parts in my presentation. The first one, introduction, and the second one, the speech of refusal and polite need. The third one is offer and the speech of refusal of offers. And the fourth part is some preferred direct refusals of strategy of offer by the native speaker of American English and Vietnamese. And the last part is conclusion. As we know, refusal are speech occurring in our daily life. They are the ones that go against the recipient request and aspiration. So how to make a declination that does not hurt the recipient and still ensure to have a good relationship with each other is very important. So my study, my article today is discover some preferred direct refusal strategy of offer by American English native speaker and the Vietnamese. And I collected in 85 Vietnamese works, 35 American ones, and some Vietnamese and American films broadcast on Vietnam television station. And I hope that this article will provide all of you some similarity and differences in the choice of preferred direct refusal strategy in both languages, and partly contribute to improve the effectiveness of teaching and learning English in Vietnam as well as teach Vietnamese to foreigners. The speech of refusal and polite need. And you know that polite need is a need in a society, especially in the civilized society. It affects the communication process and communicative efficiency. According to Brown and Levinson, 1987, they consider that an individual first need to motivate us to apply polite needs strategy. And according to them, they give it two kinds of phrase: positive phrase and negative phrase. Third, offers and the speech of refusal of offer. And according to Hornby, offer means an act to say that you are willing to do something for someone or give something to somebody. And according to the Vietnamese dictionary edited by Hoàng Phê, he said that an offer is to request usually to be private and to be accepted. And also according to Hornby, 2007, he said that refusing an offer means saying and showing that you do not want to do or accept the offer of someone. So to some extent, the speech of refusal of offer is one of the phrase threatening acts in communication. And the main part and the most important part of my presentation today is some preferred direct refusal strategy of offers by the native speaker of American English and Vietnamese. And you can see on the screen. There is a table about the frequencies of using direct refusal strategy of offer by the native speaker of American English and the Vietnamese. And I collect them from the out of total 1,200 dialogues in the native speaker of American English. We sorted out 664 direct refusal, and of totals 550 dialogue by Vietnamese. We also selected 329 direct refusal. And so if you and you can see on the screen we have found seven direct refusal strategy of offer by the native speaker of American English and Vietnamese. And you can see on the screen, you can see there are in both languages. You can see some prominent direct strategies. In terms of American English, you can see there are three prominent direct refusal strategy here. The first one is a state of using polite word, and the second one is state of frank speaking, and the third one is state of reason. And in terms of Vietnamese, we also found out the most popular direct refusal strategy by the Vietnamese is state of reason, and the second one is state of using polite word, and the last one is a state of personal principle. And now I will go to in detail. The first one, some prefer direct refusal strategy of offers by the native speaker of American English, and the first statement of using polite word. And you know that in Americans you know that this strategy you a lot of regrettable words, and for example, I'm sorry, I'm afraid, I can't. That is very kind of you to show statement of using polite word. For example, the conversation between Nathan and Miss Clark at her office. You want a hand tomorrow. They want to be at the hospital, so I could stop by for an hour in the morning. Help you put in the clothes. That's kind of you, but no, I'm fine probably. Simpler if I do it that. So in this example, you can see that is kind of you. Is an expression to solve the regrettable. And you can see Clark turned down Mr. Nathan here by expressing an appreciation that is kind of you and gave a reason. But no, I'm fine. The American respondent especially like the expression "I'm sorry" when they give a refusal of offer. And you can see on the screen. It is a conversation between two Mrs. Mallory and Cass Glover in the living room. Now I'm just making something for you. Sorry, I can't. I moved off. So with a close relationship with each other, Cass expressed her direct relation of her lover to offers. I can't. Yes, along with the regret, sorry, and the reason I must off. It's also a consolation to her lover. And the second preferred strategy is detriment of frank speaking. And you know that this strategy expresses a frank refusal, and to some extent, it threatens to the interlocutor face. And in this strategy, the native speaker of American English use semantic formula of performative verbs. And you know that performative verb of refusal in English include refuse, decline, deny, and resist. For example, I offer you a club seat in my store. I refuse it. So you can see here it is refuse is a performative verb. A semantic formula containing negative words, no, not, never, and adding prefix or suffix. And this word no often appear at the beginning of the utterance as an indicator of the speech act of refusal. And you can see the conversation between Mr. Free and his daughter. Would you like me to telephone them? No, I want to get a letter like other people, sir. So then he turned down his father's offer, attached to an explanation. I want to get a letter like other people. And you know that not is used to describe negative ability or negative willingness. And not can be used in the abbreviation form preceded by no to express a definitive variation or not combined with any modal verbs to form a complete structure to express the refusal. For example, you can see the conversation between Clark and her mother. Are you sure I can get you something, love? No, not hungry. Thanks. So in this example, you can see Clark use no and not to refuse her mother offers. And not if preceded by moral auxiliary verb such as can, shan't, and can form a full semantic formula you can see on the screen. And you can see on the screen example conversation between Detective Holmes and Lost. How do you do Lost? Calamars, it is really for the time of the year, but rather warm indoor. May I take your overcoat? No, thank you. I will not take it off. So in this case, you will see subjects and modal verb and not to make a semantic formula of refusal. And not if preceded by auxiliary verb do, da, or to be to can form a full semantic formula you can see. And semantic formula containing negative words by adding prefix or suffix is the same word. And you can see in Vietnamese we don't have this kind of semantic formula because Vietnamese is an isolating language, and when we want to make another words, we can't add prefix or suffix at the beginning or at the end of a same word like English. And to make a negative words in American English, we add prefix or suffix such as an, in, this, etc. to stem morphemes. So in terms of morphology, it is called bound morphemes. So the conversation between Detective Holmes and his client. Sir, I could take you around if you have free time. Unfortunately. So unfortunately, here we add an, prefix an at the beginning of the stem word to make a negative. And the third prominent refusal strategy by the native speaker of American English is statement of reason. So, and in many situations, the interlocutor may give many reasons for not being able to accept the offer. So you can see the conversation between Lara and her husband at home. Do you want me to make an appointment with your barbers? No, I'm sorry. I'm just not ready to go out on the street yet. And in this case, the husband gave a reason. I'm just not ready to go out, to refuse his wife's offer. And another conversation between Cass and her lover at home. Poor baby, can I fix something for you? No, I'm fine. All I really need is a good night's sleep. So all I really need is a good night's sleep. It is a reason. And or another example, do you want me to drive you home? No, I don't feel sick yet. Just wrong. If I have to, I will pull over. So Jacob used no accompanied by with extensive part by stating the reason I don't feel sick yet. And now some prefer direct refusal strategy of offers by the Vietnamese. And in Vietnamese, we also found out three prominent direct refusal strategy of offers, such as the first one is statement of the reason. And you know that this strategy is considered as very threatening acts because you know that this strategy is very common in Vietnam, and it accounts for 16.7% of the 850 data collected. And in Vietnamese, using subjective or objective reason to refuse is quite popular. For example, conversation between Lâm and his mother, Mrs. Dung, in the living room. Mẹ chuẩn bị bữa sáng cho con nhé. Không, con hẹn ăn sáng với Phương ở khách sạn rồi. Khách sạn đầy đủ rồi. So, con hẹn ăn sáng với Phương ở khách sạn đầy đủ rồi. It is a reason. Another conversation between Dũng and Loan when he comes to her house. Chiều mai anh đưa em đi chùa Láng chơi nhé. Không đi thế nào được, mai em bận lắm, công việc ở nhà còn bề bộn ra đấy, ai lại đi chơi. So mai em bận lắm, công việc ở nhà còn bề bộn ra đấy, ai lại đi chơi. It is a reason Loan gave Dũng to refuse his offer to visit Láng Pagoda tomorrow afternoon. And the second prefers direct refusal strategy of offer is statement of using polite words. Like Americans, in this strategy, the Vietnamese use some words and phrases as follows: dạ, xin lỗi, dạ thôi ạ, có lẽ. And this strategy is used when lower stated person refuses offer. For example, you can see the conversation between General Minh and Major Luan's wife at the police station. Tôi sẽ để đây một toán quân cảnh vệ để quân cảnh bảo vệ và giúp bà. Bà Dung, có lẽ không cần, thưa trung tướng. So, probably not necessary is used to refuse offer. And the first one is the statement of personal principle. And in Vietnamese, we have semantic formula containing không bao giờ, không đời nào. For example, conversation between a daughter-in-law and her mother-in-law entering the living room. Con pha tặng cho mẹ cốc sữa uống cho ấm bụng nhé. Tôi chẳng bao giờ uống sữa vào buổi sáng. So, chẳng bao giờ, it means never. The mother-in-law refused her daughter-in-law's offer to make her a cup of milk. Or the conversation between a girl and a young man at the party. I collect from Về nhà đi con, broadcast on VTV3. Cho phép tôi có vinh hạnh mai được đón người đẹp tại khách sạn lúc 7 rưỡi sáng nhé. Xin lỗi anh, tôi không đi được, tôi không có thói quen đi xem người lạ. So, tôi không có thói quen. It is personal principle. And conclusion. And through those words and between in Vietnamese and Americans, we found out seven direct statutory refusal, and in terms of frequencies, American people tend to use direct refusal strategy of offer more than Vietnamese ones. And in American English, we find out three preferred refusal strategy, such as statement of using polite words, statement of frank speaking, and statement of reason. And three preferred direct refusal strategy of offer by the Vietnamese include statement of reason, statement of using polite words, and statement of personal principle. And through this article, the writer hopes to provide reader with some similarity and differences in the choice of preferred direct refusal strategy in both languages, and partly contribute to improving the effectiveness of teaching and learning English in Vietnam and teaching Vietnamese to foreigners because of the limited time. So I have mentioned some main point of my article. So here are some references. And once more, thanks for listening.
Yeah, we would like to share a big thanks to your great presentations, Miss Ying, and thank you for your listening participant. And we are very happy to receive any question from you. Thank you.
So who have any question for me?
Miss Yang, Miss Ngọc Quyên, do you have any question for Dr. Ying? Okay, if you don't have a question now for her, don't worry, because you know any question from you could be sent to the presenter directly for further discussion. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you.
Yeah.